Greetings, friends. Welcome to our community circle where we meet as representatives of our groups from around the world and as members of one group, the new group of world servers. Before we start, I want to mention that we have automatic translated captions enabled. So please, if you need assistance with the English, choose the captions at the bottom of the screen, set in your language. Today is the day of the new moon. As sun moves through the zodiac, we are now passing through the energies of Cancer, following a very intense month, an intense period of the higher interlude. Every time around the time of the new moon, we meet in our circle to share our field notes and our recognitions of the past month. This year, as we all know, is very special. In a way, it's a year of vigil for all of us, standing together on the periphery of the hierarchy, linking the human kingdom and the spiritual kingdom. And as the new group of world servers come into self-realization as a one living organism, it is our function to bring into our group, into our collective recognition of what is coming now. And so this meeting is our opportunity to share our field notes and to inquire the way together, recognizing what is unfolding for humanity through the divine plan. As always, we start our meeting with a short alignment. And today I invite Carmen Santiago to lead us in alignment. And before we proceed, I invite us to turn off our videos now that we could just focus on our inner subjective connection. And then after the meditation, we will activate our videos again. Over to you, Carmen.
My dear brothers and sisters, in this time, this very critical time we are living now, our most important offering to the hierarchy is to be aligned all the time. There's a simple method that Master Dual Kul gave us to do this, aligning the chakras beyond the heart, below the heart, with the heart, the throat, and Agna centers. So we'll try to do that, to be aligned for the work, to be aligned as an offering, to be able to maintain this alignment just with a small visualization. So I invite you to take a deep breath, and in that breath, you get into your energy system and focalize in the sacral plexus, the sacral chakra, and also in the throat chakra or throat center. Visualize that an energy is from the throat, embrace the sacral centrum, and the sacral centrum open to that light and then goes above to the throat centrum, making a circuit that that allows the truth, the real truth, circulate in us. Fill it with your breath, with your inhalation and exhalation, that movement inside you. Then go to the heart center and the solar plexus. Imagine from the heart a beam of light that is going down to the solar plexus, and embrace the solar plexus. And the solar plexus open up and goes to the heart center to form that second circuit, the circuit of the love and beauty of life. And with the inhalation and exhalation, you feel that movement inside you. And then go to the crown chakra. And imagine a very potent light going down to the base center. Embrace the base center. And the base center, where there's the little wheels of men, open to the will of God. And go, and that circuit is formed where the base goes to the crown and the crown goes to the base. And in that movement, the good, the will to good, the good will circulate on us. So in that circulation of the three circuits, we are completely aligned with our souls and the good, the beauty, and the truth of life. Feel these three circuits in yourself, how they transmute and elevate our actions, emotions, and thoughts. We can now say, we are ready, dear Master. We are ready for the work. We can continue.
Thank you, friends. We can turn off the slides for now. Thank you, Claire. And we invite us to activate our videos. We are opening now the circle to share our most resonant recognitions of the past month, and especially the past solar festival of Gemini, the festival of Christ, when the Christ stood radiating the energy that he receives during the time of the Vesak. And us, as part of the new group of world service, aligned with this great chain of distribution, radiating this energy towards humanity. So we're opening now the floor for sharing. As we share, let us hold our meditative connection and connection with the voice of silence we all can attune with. So when you're ready to share, please unmute yourself and let us listen to each other and to the silence.
I'll start off with sharing. This is Rose. I'm back in California. Just that I just feel so much love. It's almost overwhelming at times. And just like for no reason, just spontaneously, even right now, I was just noticing that feeling. And I don't know if it's more intensified due to the Gemini festival, which is all about love and that Christ consciousness and energy, or if it's tapping into that group field that is being a chalice for this quality of energy. But it is so real and it's so powerful.
Hello, this is Athena. I'm glad to be with you from Athens, Greece. And before Rose talking, I had the same thought in mind about love. And I wanted to share with you that after the full moon of the goodwill, we decided as a group, first of all, to be more dynamic in these meetings and in more objective way or exoteric, because we were dynamic in subjective ways. And through the experience, that's why we are here, I think, 6 or 7 people from Greece, Athens. Through the experience of the Middle East meditation that I personally followed for more than a year, and some people from the group joined now. We decided also that it is a way of service to follow this meditation. But my experience through this meditation, through the Goodwill Festival, was, I wrote it down and I have it. I just want to, it's the only way to act is to let's awake love in the hearts of people participating to war in the enemies and in the masses, because that is the only way to influence the governors toward goodwill and will to good. So I come back again with Rose and I say that, first of all we know that it has to do all these working with second ray, of course, but it is so strong lately. And we had also in our meditation we have added some more focused steps on this, on the meditation we use. Also, we decided after the Goodwill Festival to use the 3 versions of the Great Invocation, first, second, and third, because we feel that it is a critical situation for humanity, and the war might be running down from the mental to my physical, and we have added it to all the meditations we use for various meditations that we have. We have some recognition, but I will follow up to that, I think. So.
My name is Judy. I live in Massachusetts, in the United States. Rose called it love, and it is love. It's holding a center of peace in the midst of chaos. And I feel that this Gemini full moon certainly gave us that. It actually helped us to be love, not just to experience it, but to hold it, to hold that center core. really understanding what it means when love substands everything, because we stand in it and we watch chaos happening, and it pulls us out and it pulls us in and it pulls us up and it pulls us down, and yet we hold that critical center. And so in some ways, the time for being small is finished. We can't hold that position anymore. We have to know who we are and what our responsibility is, and know that we are one. And I think that's what came out of these 3 festivals. There was the aspiration to be a one, there was the beginning of cohesion, but now it is a fact. And this fact really needs to exude out into humanity. So it's a new level of responsibility. It's taking a stronger stand. It's being calm in the midst of turmoil, and knowing that as we stand together, as we hold that alignment continuously, all will be well.
Thank you. I would like to add something. I'm feeling that way, the love as a force and that can change things, not a passive voice, but a strong voice. And I would like to share with you that we, in our groups, we are also using the great invocation in the 3 parts, the first, the second, and the third, because they have such a strong invocation, really. And when you can do it in a group that really gets inside within our own how do I say group soul, is very strong to do it. So that I want to share that with you.
One of the recognitions of this festival was that there is a certain shift, or rather a possibility of shift. Using this energy of this period, using the energy of Gemini festival, we can direct this very fiery energy to all people of goodwill. And that shift that I am saying is that the shift that's with this energy, we can shift from goodwill to will to good, to will to love. And that's very different quality of love. Love that
Mhm.
ignites the hearts. Love that put the courage in the hearts. It's not just the passive love and passive sense of peace. It's a courage to hold that fire of love inside. And it's opportunity of this time that people of goodwill can be ignited to take a stand, very active stand, with a courage in the heart,
Mhm.
becoming those points of light, points of expression of the will to love.
Yes.
Just as Alexander was saying this, we stand, this impression comes that we don't stand, we move. With all of that, we move. Holding that group center, group heart active, and group love, we move.
Yeah, and we are more and more aware of the whole network of how we are connected. And we, as the planetary server, are, since Vesak, I feel that we have become much more aware of our position, of our function. And now I feel that we are starting more to embody our new position in this interdimensional telepathic field. Like Judy also said, we are starting to show up as a reliable partner for hierarchy. And so we are being used also more. So we feel this higher voltage, this higher sense of responsibility.
Right.
We also feel perhaps the need to not only work on the mental plane. We have been trained and practiced for decades, intuiting ideas and forming them into thought forms to make them available to the thinkers of the world. This was our job and still continues to be our job. And at the same time, I think now we are called into more embodiment, into more awareness of the etheric physical.
Yeah.
To be more where we are, to be more aware also of where we are. Of our service also on the etheric physical plane. And of our own selves, of our own aura, and what we radiate, and also what is around us, especially also nature. Some of us were as a group in a meeting in Geneva, and we had this wonderful cottage opposite Mont Blanc, in full view of Mont Blanc, and we experienced an etheric livingness. This Mont Blanc, this highest mountain of Europe, as a magnet, as maybe a transmitter for hierarchy that we can link into and cooperate with. And for me, this was quite a transformative experience. that is still vibrating in me.
To excuse me, to add on to what Uda said, there seemed to be also this link between that mountain, like an anchoring node point for Europe, and the planetary heart center of Geneva. And there was a very strong impression that there is this great Davic being in this planetary heart center that's very essence of its nature is peace. And it wants its presence acknowledged or known, and by that fact of its presence being known, we can attune our minds to it, and it wants for humanity to be receptive to its essence, which is a blessing. And it has this wonderful blessing of peace that it wants to give, but we have to be the chalice to receive and invoke that blessing so it can be grounded. It's like the two polarities. You can't have that transference without the opposite pole to, I don't know the right words, but to draw it forth, to evoke it. And it's there for a long time wanting to give this blessing, but it needs humanity as the other receptive end of the electrical pole electrically to have that blessing go forth. And it's a global blessing. And so it has also that link with the mountain.
I'd like to add to what's been said so far. The note for me this past few months has been that we are now taking our place within the greater scheme of things. And the word that Uta used was embodiment. It's like we energetically can stand as the frequency that is required to be part of the great chain of blessing. This is not just a mental concept. We're not just, oh yes, we're world servers. We actually know how to stand in and as the world server. And therefore the field is a living field, and when it's alive, it can transmit. That's the shift for me. And as Rose says, this sense of love, this overwhelming field of love which underlies everything, is now coming to the surface. We're creating a space where we're revealing that which already has existed. It's a pre-existing condition, this love. And a number of us met in Italy recently for a gathering at the Community of Living Ethics, and touched into the possibility of what it means to live in this new space. And then you had to do the work to maintain and to keep that frequency alive. But I think what's many of us have touched is the reality of love, and the reality that the will to good and the will to love will overcome all difficulties. And so I'm deeply grateful for the way that we have come together and gone beyond the identification as a group of servers to this one planetary server. And we're all the aspects of the one planetary server. All our groups are aspects of the one planetary server. And so it's about showing up as this energetic function within the planetary body for real. That's what gives me heart. So I just want to say thank you for the way in which we have made this journey over the last couple of years. I can sense a maturity in the group field, an impersonality which allows for a greater love to flow. So thank you.
Yeah.
I want to go along with what has been said. Yeah, my strongest impression is that one way to express love in this one planetary server living organism is to try to connect individuals or groups to build this harmonic system of relationships, which is demanded in this second solar system as a group consciousness. But actually, another way to live, to embody this, is to recognize any group as the one planetary server, as Michael was saying, as part, as a cell, an atom of this organism. And in living our own groups in that way, we really connect this vibration on the one planetary server, and we don't need to connect groups in that perspective, because if you work in your own group, recognizing it as a prototype for the one planetary server, the work has done. So we were in front of the Mont Blanc and visiting Geneva, this strong polarity of Europe. And actually, it was meeting of different individuals from different groups, but that was not the impression. That it was a group. It was a group that was working for the one planetary server vision, reality, being, which we feel that is the next step to strongly maintain with our mind hold in the light of this vision. And so to dare to have this courage to think of us already vibrating for the one planetary server, I think is a way to express this will to love, which causes oneness in communion. Thank you.
Just to add a little bit to the concept of oneness, I think that there have been two things in the blue books that have come out as concepts and ideas that all of a sudden, with this impulse of energy, was an actuality of expression. One was knowing that the second and the third ray had to become one. They had to fuse together. And the other is the triangle of Shambhala, hierarchy, and humanity. But it is an incomplete circle because we can receive, but humanity could not give back to Shambhala. And in the energetic that came through, I see both pieces as actually starting to happen, that there is that fusion of 2 and 3 through the heart of love that we talked about, so that the second and the third ray, humanity and hierarchy, if you will, or that energetic, can become a oneness. And also that because of the love and where we stand, we can have a dialogue, if you will, between Shambhala and humanity. It's not just standing to receive, but it is a flow. So I will say it's the beginnings of both, but it was a recognition that both now are becoming possible.
I am happy to hear that, Judy, because our group has been for 4 years working with the connection of humanity and Shambhala. We have done it, we are doing it. We are 150 or 60 person every month through Zoom. We have make meditation with visualization. and prayers and invocations. We do in there the complete 3 parts of the invocation. It's the only thing that it's all in Spanish. We don't have translation, not yet, but it is such a powerful work. So now you're saying that you're feeling that connection, but for us, it means a lot. Thank you.
I really am appreciative of all of the sharing. And as I'm trying to reflect as we speak, all of the notes that have been sounded, the ideas that link together, beginning as Rose did with this expanding sense of love, which in my mind immediately related to this notion that we're in a period of intense acceleration, and the acceleration is going to keep expanding. So, in order for us to internalize and be able to feel, think, be, and then express these progressions as we move from goodwill to the will to good to the will to love, bringing what has been mentioned as that strength and courage to hold first, and then to stand together, and then to move together what's required, incorporating, the auras, the individual auras, the group auras, and then the aura of humanity, as we hope to, as a segment of that humanity, to embody and to radiate in complete alignment, in that higher sense of what I call an active oneness that brings peace, because the cohesion is there through our meditation and study and the service work. And when we bring it together, and it was beautiful to be able to be online with the presence that was within the group at Mont Blanc, because there was, I don't know what to call it other than a call to respond to that greater that was showing up there, to recognize the livingness within it, and to expand on all levels, individually, in group and groups, and to expand into what is being called for, which is the active outer service that is completely aligned with all that's been mentioned. So for me, the recognition and the affirmation of that through all the comments that have been shared gives me cause to think I have to really ponder on my response ability and how I blend and move and serve within all the groups that are, as was said, part of this one planetary server.
in connection with our experience at the White Mountain, which actually feels like a, well, giant crystal, which we were blessed to be irradiated by during a meditation after the full moon, the day after the full moon, I believe. To my mind's eye appeared a big cross hovering above the Mont Blanc. It's a peak. Two things ensued in conversation after that. One is that we brought, or rather the company was brought into our attention, the company of the Christ, the Spirit of Peace, the avatar of synthesis and Buddha. And another thing is that the quote that was shared by Antonella, I think, upon my sharing about this sign above the mountain. So maybe we can bring it up, the quote.
Yeah, it's in the email.
Yes,
I
it's
sent.
put it on
Okay.
a slide.
Okay.
And so, is it okay that I read it? Yeah. So, recognition of the successful work of the new group of world servers will be accorded by the hierarchy. And the testimony of the recognition will be appearing of a symbol in the aura of the group, of the entire group. This will be a symbol projected by the hierarchy, specifically by the Christ. What that symbol will be, it is not for me to say. It is not yet fully earned, and only its dim and uncertain outline can be seen from the level on which the masters work, and not at all from the level on which the group itself works. It is the mark of a savior, and it will embody the mark of indication, or the signature, as medieval occultists used to call it, of a new type of salvation or salvage. Up till now, the mark of the Savior has been the cross, and the quality of the salvation offered has been freedom from substance. Or the future of the matter and from its whole. I think there is something missing here, but a freedom only to be achieved at a great cost. The future holds within its silence other modes of saving humanity. The cup of sorrow and the agony of the cross are well nigh finished. Joy and strength will take their place. Instead of sorrow, we shall have a joy which will work out in happiness and lead eventually to bliss. We shall have a strength which will know not but victory and will not recognize disaster. Even the Black Lodge knew of this change in the mode of salvation and hastily founded its group of youths banded together by the motto, joy through strength and strength through joy. It seems to be a law for group development to receive recognition from the side of evil, prior to that recognition coming from the good. But after weeping cometh joy, and that joy cometh in the morning. Only the dawn is with us yet, the dawn of the Aquarian age. The full tide of light is inevitably moving upon its way towards us. Joy is upon us.
Thank you for rereading that quote. It really resonates with me, and it really resonates with what I think we are starting really to experience as a group.
I could add to that that it's the etheric consciousness that is coming through all the world servers. We are kind of discovering the etheric plane with all the devas and the creatures and the life, because that etheric plane is full of life and joy. We have been into the mental and astral, trying to maybe no, it's not correct the word to manage the emotional with the mental, but then there appears another consciousness now, which is the etheric consciousness, and it is so from humanity, because that consciousness is in our throat center. So the sound, the beauty of nature, the mountains are speaking. It is not the only one that the mountain in Europe. We have been with a group to the Aconcagua, which is the highest peak in this part of the world in America. And it is not words. It's another language of energy, of vibration, of feeling, but not with the plexus. It's feeling here, like it is expanding over here in the heart and throat. It's different. And I think it's our next step. I remember reading Master Dualkut saying that the masters, they didn't understand why we were so astral and step over, and we didn't realize the etheric plane. We didn't look to that, and now it is the time, because I think it has many answers of our most deepest question. Because if you can develop that sense of the etheric plane, you don't have to work for unity, because there's nothing separate there. You see, it's kind of, oh yes, it's like that. So well, I want to share that. I'm sorry. I'm so happy to hear all of you. Really, really happy. Thank you.
So you just touched me, and I will say, when you speak of that livingness is the monadic essence within matter. I mean, that's the complete loop.
Yes, because the monadic is the etheric in our plane. Yes, it's the correspondent. Yeah, for the physical, but since physical is not it's an illusion, it's the etheric. Yeah, thank you. That's nice.
So, as one planetary servant, we create a focus, invocative place, a locus, a calyx for the embodiment. And the next step is the so-called externalization of this one planetary servant. As you, Carmen, said before, running down the energy and coming to the etheric. And to physical.
An image came to me as you were reading that text that was on the screen, saying that the cross is no longer, well, has been the symbol. And I thought of this phrase from Agni Yoga, sun heart. A sun heart is this radiant sun of love that streams, and that's the resurrection, that's the joy, that's the from pain and suffering to joy and wisdom. And so for me, the new symbol is like a sun heart, because that's what I feel is happening. I feel like I'm living inside a sun heart that is this group. And I don't want to sort of crystallize it and say it is, but it's something like the sun heart. That's my sense of what I sense. So thank you for reading that, because I do believe we are now shifting. And Carmen, thank you for mentioning the etheric. My sense is that recently I felt myself living in this next dimension of the etheric. It's somehow, I sometimes say, Michael Center, get grounded. You're too etheric. No, I'm not too etheric. We are becoming etheric. But as we become etheric, we need to include everything that's inside of that, so we're not disconnected. So for me, it's the shift from the fourth subplane to the third subplane of the physical. That's what I'm sensing is happening. And I've shared this with a number of people, some of whom are on this call now. And we have this sense of we are now being invited to live at a different frequency.
Mm-hmm.
And because that is the frequency that is required by the planetary logos, that is the new level of its body. So thank you for reading that passage from DK.
I could also add to that that I think I is my observation that the plant kingdom, is that the way you say it?
Mm-hmm.
The vegetable kingdom, the plant kingdom, and the animal kingdom, they are receiving that also. They're changing. If you look at them, if you feel them, you're gonna realize that they are in a different frequency. They're higher. The domestic animals, they have developed so much that, and even for me the plants, because I am a gardener, so I can feel the communication with the plants. It's I think the whole planet is receiving that, and part of humanity is close to that. So our work is to open doors to that energy, so that it can come to everybody. Just an idea. Thank you.
I have a question for the group. Where do the great concepts of freedom and truth move into and through this developing exchange?
Could you please explain yourself, Joe? I didn't understand your question.
Oh, well, we're in an exchange of ideas and thoughts. And as I've been listening, the two concepts, big ideas that have not yet been brought into the thought streams are these big ideas of freedom and the big idea of truth, meaning, those higher levels, and how that is there a connectedness to our now in this new moon of Cancer being the opportunity to think in terms of the masses, the mass of humanity, human thought as a mass, and how those concepts, which I hear often in group formation, and how do we factor that in as we move forward out of these 3 festivals, and create the higher consciousness of the one planetary server to incorporate these, what I call the big ideas.
Yeah.
Oh.
First of all, the quality of freedom, which is a quality coming from Sirius, and it's a quality the hierarchy works for and serves. As for truth, I think it takes a lot of it is connected with the third ray. And it is something that is still precious in the second solar system, which is not focused on it primarily. Yeah, freedom. And there are some, of course, you know that liberation and freedom are different within the blue books.
The great
And
question, Joe.
for Sirius, I have noticed. Sorry, Michael. For Sirius, the star Sirius, I have noticed that it is used by decay the word freedom, not liberation. Yeah. And this show us where is the point, on freedom or on liberation. Yeah. Sorry for my Greek English translations.
We speak the language of the heart together. Thank you. Joe, the great question, and an answer or some insights into this came out of the gathering in Italy, because it was around moving into the solar civilization. And we were reminded that DK says that inside the heart of every atom of the earth is the light of the sun, Sirius. Therefore, the release of the light in matter is the release of the Sirian light, which includes freedom. And I also, for me, that would be truth. But it's freedom. And therefore, the light of the world is the Sirian light of freedom. And freedom it's not freedom from, it's the freedom to be able to express something, because normally we think of freedom from, but the freedom is this, the freedom to be co-creative agents of life without any conditioning, constraints from the past, trauma, etc. So getting off of the cross, getting beyond our traumas, healing that, so that the light that lives within the heart of every atom can be released. And so that was a very powerful sense during this gathering in Italy. And we could actually sense what happens when the light within starts to be released. It's the freedom to love. It's the freedom to be in love with life and each other. So I don't want to use more words, but
go ahead, because Michael, in your utterance, the sound of freedom is present.
Yeah.
When you articulated that, the shift from freedom from to freedom to,
yeah,
and make that connection to the etheric physical, the demonstration, the creative activity, the third ray, that opens the whole arena. Thank you. That was the sounding comes through.
If I'm thinking as a personality, I want freedom from. As a soul, I want the freedom to co-create with life. And I believe that's what we're stepping into as a group now. The freedom and joy of serving together. So, amen.
I can add, I'm sorry.
Oh, that really resonates, Michael, that it's freedom not from something, but freedom to be something or to allow something. And I think it seems so minor, but it's huge. It's a huge distinction. It really is powerful.
I can add to that. I think freedom is a principle of life. Life is spirit. Spirit is free. It's a principle. You don't have to do anything. You have to discover it.
Exactly. It's a nature of the essence of what's real.
Of life, of what real life is, which is spirit. And then liberation is from the people that you have to have slaves to liberate. It comes from a particular way of life in this planet. Maybe in other planets there's no liberation because it is not needed. You see, but freedom is a principle of life, of spirit. That's what came to me the first moment.
And as for the truth, one of the unfoldings of this 3 festivals was recognition of the emergent world group consciousness.
Mm-hmm.
And while being together near Mont Blanc, it's one of the topics that was in our reflection and meditation was reconciliation, because we as a community got a big hit on what is truth, like during the COVID times, and we always held so high our recognition that we know the truth. And I think our experience of the last 5 years is that the truth is something that we as a group can hold in a group consciousness. It's something as a mosaic that emerges as a sum total of our recognitions. There is no exclusive monopoly for truth by anyone, but collectively we bring our pieces of puzzle and recognition through a group consciousness of that bigger truth, of that truth with capital T. And it's something that we been learning and will be learning how to hold it in our group consciousness, that recognition of higher truth. I know you, it seems like you want to share something, but you are muted.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay. Hello from Greece again. We were talking about love, and this resonates a lot with me, then freedom and truth were mentioned as two principles, or anyway, very important um, states. For me, love cannot be without freedom or truth. And I see that also on a very physical plane. If you live by the principle of love, and love is the tone of our world, and it's the creative force of our world, then you are connected with everything, with the whole creation. And that is freedom, because you're connected with everything, you're boundless. And that is also true. That's the truth. It's the truth of our system, at least. This is the way I conceive this. And we were talking about externalization and the etheric plane and the physical plane. So in my mind, it is very important that we incorporate all this as much as we can every day, everywhere, in every act and in every thought that we have. And I think this is the way to serve, besides serving on the mental plane and in the spiritual plane. It's to do the hard work here, around us, on earth, now. And okay, coming from a psychological background, I have to say, with the latest meditations about the crisis in Middle East, I found myself saying to all the people there who fight each other, who are fanatic, who think they want to kill each other, the same thing that you would say to a frightened child. Don't worry, it's okay. You are loved. There is love. I think if we are able to send this message, not only send the message, live the message, be the message, I think that's the stake right now. Anyway, this is my perspective. Thank you for listening.
Friends, at the end of our time together, we would like to have a invitation that Carmen will voice for us. But before we go into that, because that will be moving to closing of our meeting, I want to ask if anyone else would like to offer on sharing of your recognitions in the past month.
So to add to that is etheric, the key to freedom, to connection. It is the prerequisite, really. So Tibetan says, raising the dead body of humanity, that is. And love is an amazing force that allows to deliver. So it's for us to live, I agree, daily, those principles in our daily life and vibrate it from in out, expanding group consciousness, and I would say what came to me is invoking on the behalf of humanity, because we know how we know what. And as this path of opening up happening, it is not easy. And the strength that is needed and the love, the amount of love that is needed, group love that is needed, is great. So if I'm sure we all do that in our group work, in our meditation and invocation, but if we focus on that as well, invoking on behalf of those who do not know how, yet need the support, ready to receive that support, I would say. Thank you.
These meetings, it's our open space to share our recognitions, but also it's opportunity to share about the work that our groups do and invite to offer through the field of resonance others to join. And Carmen Santiago, representing the whole collective of groups in South America and Central America. We asked Carmen to share about the specific meditation on uniting North and South, to share about this work with us here and invite, if that work resonates with you, to join this rhythmical work. So over to you, Carmen.
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much. Yes, this is a work that has been, that we have almost also, I think the 4 years also, after, immediately when COVID obliged us to work through Zoom. Many different works appear, and this is one of them. It is called American Alignment. We all, a student of Master Tibetan, know that in order for a planet to be sacred, the key is inclusion. Say it very clearly, inclusion. But this process goes by stages. We work in the inclusion of the Americas, the three Americas, North, Central, and South America. Because America, if you see the geography, marks the union of the North and the South, since we can walk from North Pole to South Pole. There's land. So it marks kind of the background, the vertebral column of Earth. And we think that if the planetary Kundalini has to ascend on Earth, it should be in that place, the vertebral column of Earth, which is the whole America, North, Central, and South, which are so much divided by political and racism and everything. So we're working on that. It's only a stage. I know that maybe you know this. Of course, you're going to know what Kundalini is. We are not talking about our own Kundalini. We're speaking of that energy that arises from the background of existence that cause all movement of life. It's the inner energy of nature that moves cyclically through all the planes of existence and in a form of spiral. Then, this work, this service, has been inspired by the teaching of one of our beloved master, Master K.P. Kumar. Is an Indian master that has worked all his life in the union of the East and the West. He traveled a lot, he traveled the whole world, and he worked on that. It was kind of the main path of his life. What we do? Let me explain the process. I am inviting, because this work is done in Spanish, but it has translation, simultaneous translation, that to English. So maybe you can participate. First of all, we form a temple in space, invoking the powers of the 10 directions and the center, north, south, east, west, northeast, southeast, southwest, northwest, and the center. It's a tradition of the wisdom of the ancient Vedas, and also of all the cultures of the whole American continent. According to the Vedas, this temple has the ability to protect us, illuminate us, and connect us with the will of God. So we invoke those forces and we visualize them. In the ancestral cultures of America, there's a legend that when the eagle of the north unites with the condor of the south, through the beauty of the Quetzal, a new consciousness will appear on earth. The north represents the mind, the reasoning, the science. The south represents the heart, the intuitive and understanding part, the connection with natural world. They represent the two kind of divergent paths of humanity. But the Quetzal, which is a beautiful, beautiful bird of Central America, is the symbol of Quetzalcoatl. According to the tradition, Quetzalcoatl unites the two and bringing a new consciousness, which that instead of two, they are now only one, not opposite, but synthesis and transformation. We invoke the ashram of the masters to do this work. We invoke in the north, we invoke Shambhala and our Lord Sanat Kumara. In the south, we invoke Master Saint Germain and the Temple of Ibis. In the east, we invoke the ashram of Shravasti, the ashram of Master Maitreya. And in the west, we invoke Kalapa, which is the ashram of Master Kuthumi and Master Moria. And then we ask them to radiate the code of this union to the whole America. Then we make a visualization how the necessary help arrives from the cosmos and enters through Central America, considering Central America the heart of the Americas. And we visualize the descending and ascending movement of the north and the south, this light that comes from the cosmos goes to the south and then to the North Pole and then back to the south, forming a Taurus. See? And when we do this, we use mantras also, because it's more or less in the tradition of well, our master Kumar. And then we use the Om Namo Narayanaya. Naraya is the cosmic consciousness. We do it to visualize the descent of the light of the ashrams. We use the Om Namah Shivaya, which is which is the mantra of Shiva, the Lord of the Will. And when we visualize the descending and ascending of the light that comes from the cosmos for the unification of the Americas, we chant Om Namo Bhagavate Rudraya, invoking the Rudras. The Rudras in the Vedic traditions are the principle of will, of the cosmic will or the cosmic fire. According to the Vedic tradition, its roar, its sounds form the first atom in the creation. So that's the way we work. I will send you the invitation to Alexander, and then you, Alexander, you can send them to them. And if you want to join and see what we're doing, well, you're welcome, and that's it. It's the third Sunday of every month. We do that, and in New York time, 10 a.m.
Third Sunday. So is it this coming Sunday?
No.
No, it's sorry. Yeah, I'm looking in the wrong month. So
Yes.
it's when is it going to be the next?
Let me check my calendar. I'm looking for it. Okay, I have it here. Okay, I have it here. It's going to be the 8th of June, June 8th.
July.
No, I'm looking the wrong. I'm sorry. I'm like you. No, it's the 13th of July. 13th of July.
Mhm.
Yes.
At 10.
No, I'm sorry. The 6th of July. I don't know what's happening to me. The 13th we do the fire ritual. The 6th of July, which is the first Sunday of every month. The second is the ritual. I'm so sorry. The 6th of July, the first Sunday of every month. That's it. So I'm going to send you the, well, I'm going to tell the lady who's in charge. Really, the head of this meditation is Irene Luna. She's in Venezuela, and I'm going to send her your email so she can send you the invitation. And well, you are all welcome.
Thank you, Carmen. If anyone would like to join this meditation, the 2025 initiative will be sending the announcement for this meditation that English-speaking part of the world group of
Yes.
the community could join this initiative. So you can subscribe on our website to the list of intergroup initiatives. It's one of the intergroup initiatives that's we recognize as very important. So thank you for doing this, Carmen, and gratitude to all of your groups, because we know that there are many groups who participate in this.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, friends. We are now coming to the closing of our time together, and we'll continue holding our space, our togetherness within our group, world group consciousness. And now we are closing our meeting with our traditional ritual, which Daniela will take us in. Over to you, Daniela.
Thank you. Thank you for all the sharings. Thank you. So we will first voice the radiant mantra. Could you put it on the screen, Claire? Thank you. And then we'll finish with, as Alexander calls it, our traditional closing with the last sentence of the great invocation and the mudras that we use. So, may the power of the one life pour to the group of all true servers. May the love of the one soul characterize the lives of all who seek to aid the great ones. May we fulfill our part in the one work through self-forgetfulness, harmlessness, and right speech. Let light and love and power restore the plan on earth. Oh.